Good evening and welcome everybody to the Pleb Fiesta, hosted by Wono and Mongoose. This evening, I have special guest star Monkus joining me.
Hello, hello, hello.
And Monkus, I forgot to put your Monkus Beaver line, so I'll make sure to add that in. But we do have our teams all set up and ready to go here, so I'm going to just do a quick look at who we're working with. So for the standings here, it's a very small group of people. It's 8 teams total, 4 on each side. This is the West Division. We've got Can't Counterpick, Stupid, Logical Decision, ReGen Blue, and Team Training Wheels for the western half of the map here. And obviously, as you can see, nobody has any points. This is the first match of this tournament. So just a quick look here. As you'll see, there are more maps available than standard. So we've got 11 total maps in the rotation. Garden of Terror and I think, is it Hanamura that's available? Yeah, Garden of Terror and Hanamura are also available in this rotation. There are no map bans, but there are a lot of hero bans, and we're going to come back here to discuss that in just a second. Let's get this started. So I just told the teams we're ready, so I'm going to show you the ban setup here. So the way this works, each of the teams at the beginning of the season selected one hero that was going to be globally banned. So 8 teams, they selected 8 different heroes. It could have been less if they overlapped, but there were 8 total bans for these heroes. So those heroes are on your screen now. They're Nubarak, Alarak, Medivh, Zeratul, Garrosh, Murky, Kel'Thuzad, and Maiev.
Murky?
No Murkies. Now, in addition to that, all of the bans from each game carry over to the next game. So whoever they ban in this first match, this first map, will carry over to map number 2. So there's a little bit of extra strategy involved as the first ban coming out, and we'll switch back over to the draft screen here, being on Ana. Ana cannot be played, period, in any of the 3 games.
Cascading bans. It seems like it would be a little dangerous to be banning tanks or healers.
It certainly does, as those are the narrowest group of, anyways, they're the narrowest category, right? There's only, 11 total tanks? And really, some of those are
you don't have a Nubarak or Garrosh, and now you don't have Diablo.
Correct. No Nubarak, no Garrosh, no Diablo. It would be very easy to have a tank choke in game 1 that carries through. You could have a game 3 with absolutely no options for tanks.
You're going to end up being like quick match, and you're going to have Blaze and Mal'Ganis main tanking.
Could absolutely happen. And I do want to point out, this is the first match of this entire tournament. We did have one scheduled yesterday that didn't quite get worked out, so we got to play a kind of an exhibition match, if you will. So this is the first one. So this is the first time we'll get to see this fully in play.
And I'm noticing a lot of the bans are high execution, high impact heroes like Maiev, Zeratul, and Alarak.
And some of that also comes simply from understanding who's in this tournament too. Right. Once you know who your opponents are, it makes it a little bit easier to target ban. And so definitely that Alarak being focused on contender. And Maiev, just a really tough hero to play into anyways.
No, absolutely. One of the most impactful heroes in the game, along with Zeratul, definitely. And I think that they got rid of one of the best tanks. In the Nubarak, the Murky just surprises me because I don't think we've seen like a particular Murky player that has just dominated.
There's somebody, if I remember correctly, there was somebody talking about Murky stats, and it was like 8 or 9 games, and most of them were on one person, and they were a Div D player. So yeah, these guys are pretty much B and C teams from NGS. So that being said, there's gonna be some awkwardness. This is a pleb fiesta. They are here to throw out some craziness. So, you know, in the games we saw yesterday, Juice Pirates, and we also saw on the reverse in game 2, we saw 4 support with a Butcher. It didn't work out well for them. Spoiler alert.
That's you're putting all your eggs in one very butchery basket.
For sure. So what do you think of these teams so far? Thank you, Alex.
Well, I like Alex with the bans in place as they are. I really like Alex Straza. A lot of her counters, like Ana, are out of the table. A lot of the things that punish for grouping, like Maev and KTZ, aren't available. So yeah, I really like Alex Straza. I like Jaina. I like how they don't have a tank except for him.
Indeed, and this is exactly what I just said, right? I mean, we could see games where they just simply don't have any tanks, but they are also fairly squishy into a team that includes Rhaegar, ETC, and Thrall.
I'd like to see Chromie come out now. She can outrange Sergeant Hammer and really punish her.
True.
In a few years it can.
And they took the Junkrat, so they don't have the option to really, you know, use that displacement hero. So,
now,
interesting.
A little interesting that, now that I think about it, Samuro wasn't banned out, since he is another one of those high-impact heroes.
For sure. It's so we've got a very interesting draft here. On the side of ReGen Blue, we've got something maybe a little bit more conventional, or at least certainly closer to conventional. And from Team Training Wheels, we got a little bit of a fiesta going on. They want to do something a little bit different here, so we'll see how that works out for them.
I kind of see where they're thinking. They have Alex Straza and Hammer, you know, so that you have somebody who can protect the circle of healing. Junkrat's there, so you don't. So you're taking away the option to throw a mine and knock people out of it. The only interesting thing is that Alex Straza is all basically pretty much all percent based healing, and she has a bunch of squishies on her. On the other side, you have EC and Thrall and Rhaegar. You have a bunch of self-sustain on the other team.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to go ahead and throw down on ReGen Blue. So we've got Fox on that Samuro. Grendel's going to be playing Gul'dan. Jason on Rhaegar. Mongoose on the ETC. And Larson on Thrall. That's your ReGen Blue.
And for Team Training Wheels, we have Confused on Jaina, Seraph on Sergeant Hammer, Zoo on Orphea, Taco Cat on Straza, and Michaelian on Junkrat. I think I'm saying that.
I think I pronounce it Michaelin, but you know what? You do you, buddy.
Oh, some taunts coming out. The shade is thrown.
Yeah, and you gotta expect. I mean, this is a fun event. It's something that, you know, is gonna be a little bit different. And here's kind of what I expected: is Fox is going right in, trying to get on Seraph on that hammer, and I mean, expect that to be the theme, right? Fox has that stealth and power slide in onto Seraph.
Oh. Now, what I want to see Seraph take as the hammer is the hover tank talent at, I believe, 4. That is. You'll see one of 2 choices there: either the thing that increases her range, or the thing that gives her some mobility. And the right choice is always the mobility. Always go hover tank.
Yeah, I don't have a dog in that fight. Graduating range is really nice, and especially against a pretty much full melee team, it kind of pressures them to have to come into it.
But the problem is you have to get set up and you have to stay set up for a long time, whereas the other one, you can just adjust minutely while not having to waste time getting in and out of.
Oh, you know what? Good call on that, Giggle Schmack. I had not recognized that, and I think Zool was also throwing this. So we didn't catch the theme that ReGen Blue threw out here.
Oh, Horde.
Yeah.
Even more so. Oh no, I was gonna say all orcs, but then I noticed ETC.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is all Horde.
Yeah, so you know, good job for them getting that team synergy going on. But you know what? As an Alliance main, I'm gonna have to say I'm rooting for Training Wheels on this one.
Yeah, and except for Alex Straza, they're all humans, and Alex Straza is a dragon on the, I guess, the Alliance side. I think she's more neutral.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of the dragon aspects. I don't think that. I mean, she worked with Thrall and them to take down Deathwing, so I don't think she's necessarily on one side or the other for that.
That's your lore, Warcraft lore minute right there. Oh, Orphea down.
So she was probably up here working. Yeah, Samuro's up here catching her on the rotation down.
Pause game.
Sorry,
Wono saying for the Horde. I'm inclined to agree with you, Odo. For the Horde, indeed. Though I did stop my own subscription because I don't like where they're going with the story with the current expansion. So bad.
You know, that's interesting because I actually feel like the story in this expansion has more depth than a lot of the past expansions. You know, it really feels like in Draenor you got to participate more as a hero. In Legion, it was a little bit scaled back, but you were still like the central focus of it. And for what it's worth, I really liked the Legion storyline because Arrow's a Draenei, so you know that storyline was kind of like my history. But I feel like this storyline really brings to the fore, you know, Jaina's history and who she is, and she's had a hell of a turn. And then of course, like, we learn more about the Zandalari trolls. I think it's really interesting. But I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw in a hard disagree because we were promised Shades of Grey, and instead we get Gary 2.0 and Sylvanas.
So I do agree. I think Sylvanas can, you know, go right to hell. She can burn. But I'm interested.
Maybe
to see
your
this.
Perspective is colored because you're Alliance.
Perhaps
and you don't have to deal with Gary again.
I do have to say that I'm interested to see what happens with this story arc, because we don't know that she's going to be a Garrosh 2.0. She certainly has gone down that path.
She's been corrupted by an old god, because if there's one thing Blizzard likes to do, it's corruption.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that they don't do that, because it's essentially what they did with the Shah and Garrosh, and you know, I'd like to see them take a different direction on that. So,
well, let's take a look at some of these talents here. Let's see if what Sergeant Amber took. She took Regenerative Biofocus is at 7. That you get the option of graduating range. Or Alex Straza is going the flame build, which is not something you usually see.
No, but I think I kind of like that, helping to get those dragons out as much as possible. And this is almost a full melee team, so she should be able to stack that up pretty quickly. She's at 8 right now, so.
Well, I'll be interested to see how it works out, since they have no tank except for their tank, and
yeah,
they can definitely. I guess the slow, they could definitely use that to keep people from getting in range of their hammer. They might have put a lot of thought in.
Yeah, and we do see the power slide in onto the hammer, and unfortunately there's nobody there to really help protect her. Taco Cat's gonna pop Dragon, but well after hammer is taken out of the fight.
Oh, I would have liked to see Larson on Thrall have taken the wolf quest at 7 or at 4 because he has such a nice stationary for all of his wolves.
Yeah, and I imagine, what did he take at 1? He took Echo? Yeah, so I imagine he's looking at this from a mana conservation perspective and making sure he can stay in the fight for as long as possible.
True. But so he's got other guys that can do the offlaning for him. You should have done Crash Lightning and gone full hammer.
Crash Lightning with a full team of ranged DPS. I question your circumstances, sir.
No. Take the quest at 1, take the quest at 4, take the quest at 7, take the quest at 16.
There you go.
It's fully embrace the WoW build.
running away from Confused, just dodges that Frostbolt. He's calling, well, actually, I don't know which team was calling for the aid.
Oh, he
Zhao,
is
though,
deep in. I was thinking that he was running back to his base, but he is deep in enemy territory.
yeah, he's in a danger zone here.
I think it would have been in his best interest to just die and get that respawn timer coming back up again, but...
Yeah, and we do see Blue here trying to gather this this seed. The problem is that, and this is a map that, you know, keep in mind, has not been in rotation for a long time, ever since they changed it. And what I saw, the challenge there, they could have had that seed, but Mongoose went in, booped all of the minions back. And that's a common mistake. You don't have to kill any of the minions.
Right, you just need to get one person to have aggro, and then one person to cap the... It works
right.
just like Alterac in that way.
Exactly. So, but there's more minions. There are 4 minions, and they really like to switch targets very easily. So you kind of have to pull them off.
He went graduating range. He is fully committed to protecting his house. That little spot of his.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me, because now if you're the melee from Blue, you have a really tough time getting in on this.
True, but when tins come out, it'll be a little different. You can you'll have the Sunder Earth from Thrall. You'll have the Fear from Gul'dan.
Yeah, I don't think the Fear is going to matter, because that's going to keep her in place. But yeah, the Sunder, the Mosh, you know, potential. But we do see Mongoose trying to delay that seed capture as long as possible. But unfortunately for the cow, I was going to make a cow pun. I'm going to leave that there. He died, and he went back to his graveyard. And here we've got them pushing in the top
ground
right
beef.
Indeed. And Alexstrasza completing her level 1 quest there, so now she'll be able to put a little bit of flame on that burger. Speaking of flames,
Gul'dan went Echo Corruption.
Yeah, he came up, got a lot of damage onto the Jaina, and ETC power sliding in. Mongoose says, "Hey, that's payback for what you just did to me," but Grendel's in trouble. And Hammer is fully committing to killing Grendel. Oh man, so deep. I would love to hear the comms at this point. Like, just what are they saying to each other? This has got to be just a joke in their chat right now. So we do have the level 10s coming online for Blue as they're capturing this second seed for them. We've got the Illusion Master, the Mosh Pit, Sundering, Horrify, and Rhaegar has yet to take his talent, but okay, it's going to be Ancestral. I would not have been surprised to see a Bloodlust there. Monkus, you still with me? I see you lighting up, but you're not saying anything. Well, hopefully we'll hear back from you soon here. So we did get Orphea here taking this top camp. And it is going to be Water Elemental... Napalm Strike, I think that is what that's called. The Eternal Feast.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay.
The Cleansing Flame and the Riptire. So the Orphea looking for, I guess, the value from slows, because there's not really anything else that is going to be locking anybody down. Other than a Junkrat trap, I guess. Jason taking a lot of damage there from that camp, and you seem to have
maybe it's just a get off the... Oh, I think I know what it is. It's a get off the hammer. You see what I'm saying? Get off the hammer.
You know what? Fair enough. Yeah, zoning. Yeah. So there's the seed, but we've got Team Training Wheels looking to get some value out of this top lane. Now they're pulling back here. Hammer's a little late to set up for the graduating range. Gets in range of the minions there, really close to this seed. Wants to make sure she gets as much value out of this as possible.
And again, they don't need to go and be this invested into the seed like that. They just need one person to get the aggro. Oh well, here comes the big fight, and Hammer's just plopped herself right on down, and down goes poor little Rhaegar.
Yeah, so we actually saw a couple kills there. So Gul'dan and Orphea went down as well. you saw most of that going on your screen there. The Eternal Feast getting some damage, but the counter synergy from the Junkrat managed to knock Gul'dan, I think it was Gul'dan, I know, it might have been Thrall now that I think about it, out of the way. So they traded 2 for 1, but they did get that seed. So now it's 2-2 on the seed count.
Yes, I think that the Horde can be alright if they can just land one good mosh pit on the enemy team. The only people that they really need to get are Junkrat, because Orphea doesn't have her stun. And if Alex Rossa has Dragon down, then she doesn't have any knockback herself, so really just needs to land on Junkrat.
So we do see Fox chasing under the towers, going for this hammer. Only 40 health left, but it's once again chasing under towers is not going to work.
The B-step from Seraph. Easy comes out.
Well, I don't know about the B-steps. The last time it was him dying under a fort. So, but if you're blue, if you're Team Training Wheels, in either case, you want to be at these seeds as early as possible. If you're blue, you want to be here to prevent them from setting up, as they did catch Junkrat on the rotation there.
Right.
And if you're Team Training Wheels, you want to be here to set up that hammer a good 10 seconds before to give you this.
And then napalm! Seconds, mere microseconds away from landing in time to interrupt, but here come the first seeds for Team Training Wheels.
And already this bot lane seed terror is 10-15% down because of the giants that it had to go through. Hammer sieging up in the middle is going to be able to clear this out before it's going to get the tower. But they do have
the tower's down
in the middle. I'm sorry, the fort.
They could have really invested heavily on that middle and let the objectives push the other lanes naturally. Not every objective will push strong, but the seeds push super strong. They're probably the best objective for some.
Yeah, being able to shut down the structures for a good 10 seconds or so gives them a lot of value, and they're pushing pretty hard. They've got now 4 of them in the bot lane here now, as the Eternal Feast coming out, trying to zone them away, and they do finish off that second Garden Terror and the third up in the top with Jaina.
Now, if they can, they won't have gotten as much out of this as they could have if they leave this mid lane open.
Yeah, and they're going right now to add to their pressure in the bot lane. They want to get this bot camp, this night camp pushing, and my guess is that, yeah, with Samuro going to the top camp, they're probably going to look to push down that middle once they can see where Team Training Wheels is located.
Well, Junkrat has shown on the map, so they know where he is.
And they know where they know that they went to the Giants there, so... And Samuro's scouting out that Bruiser camp. And they're going to look to invade because Junkrat's bot.
I think that's the right call, and... Oh! He gets...
Oh my goodness, that feast was placed so well to catch Mongoose on the return. And look at how much value Hammer got. Manages to get killed by Thrall. But she was on the other side of that wall with that full range and just shredding the team, as now 4 of ReGen Blue are going to go ahead and find their way into the cold embrace of death with just a hammer.
She was able to position herself to hit both points from just one spot. So that was really good use of the graduating range. Bottom lane is getting pushed in by that camp, though. Finished taking out that last tower and the wall and making progress on this keep.
Yeah, I feel like, Michael, and if you come back and watch this, maybe I missed it, but you can use your concussion mine to throw those over the wall to get them into the keep to let it get some damage while you're working on it. Maybe we missed it. Maybe you did that. But look at this top lane. Look at how pushed up this is. They have to defend this right away, and they don't have everybody here. Thrall's not here. Rhaegar's not here. And neither is Samuro. They're looking to help out in the mid lane.
Oh, the problem is that they have 2 approaching the center at the same time, so they can't defend against both at 100%. So they're choosing to defend, for the most part, in mid and just use Gul'dan's massive damage to clear. I think that's the right call.
Smero's trying to chase down Junkrat. We'll keep an eye on that. It looks like Junkrat's going to make it away. Hammer sieging up now is going to go ahead and focus on that, but it is that
the feeder!
Push her in. And
The
there's
stun!
a big Sunder. Do we see a Mosh? Nope, we see it.
No, he already used it. Mosh is 6 seconds away.
So close.
If he hadn't used it during that camp attempt, he would have it now. They really should get to bot lane to defend against
There's the Mosh, though. Gets the Hammer and the Orphea. Here comes the Junkrat Riptire, but Rip City to Orphea and Sergeant Hammer.
But that was a really good play, but they're going to lose bot for it. That's their progress that they made.
Yeah, and at this point, I think, you know, they're coming down here to clear up, get the soak in this lane. Rhaegar is clearing and soaking top. They're trying to get as much as they can on their way to 20 now.
They need to take advantage of these next 20 seconds as much as they can. They need to take out that keep mid.
Oh, they're working on this Alex.
Oh, that Alex is dead!
And she is also now finding her way dead.
That staggers the deaths. That's a huge victory for Team Training Wheels. Or ReGen Blue.
Yeah, I was going to say, by Team Training Wheels, you mean. So that's now their second fort, and they are about a third of a level ahead now on the way to 20. So, you know, this gives them a very significant advantage.
Right, they pretty much have free reign of all the camps. I think they should take this siege, maybe go back, clear bot, and take the other siege, and it hit 20 and then just run at them. Just run down bottom keep right now. Get as much damage on it as you can before Alex Strasser gets you back up.
And so they're pinging on Junkrat to, I'm assuming, to call for help there. There's the Eternal Feast. Gonna get one shot. Grendel gets booped over the wall, though. Is in a dangerous spot. Pops off the Horrify, but the Water Elemental will take him out. Larson gets the Ancestral, but here comes the Riptire sending... now, I guess that isn't what killed him. Whatever. Mongoose power slides to get away, and Jason trying to run away as well.
Storm Shield comes out.
A lot of potential slows coming out here from the Jaina and potentially even Junkrat if he took that talent. But Taco Cat as well. They've got a lot of slows, if not a lot of lockdown. So a 2-for-0 trade there, as 20's online for both teams now.
Well, what they have here is a lot of mobility and a lot of defense on the side of ReGen Blue. 2 different storm shields on their team to give them about a 40% shield to go in on the Hammer. They have Wind Rush to allow Thrall to teleport in, and they have Haunt to increase the damage Hammer takes during a fear and to increase the amount of time she is. On the other side, we have Wintermute from Jaina, which can be devastating, getting double slows, Monster Within, increasing attack speed for Orphea, and continually to grant that chaos each time it hits. Ancient Flame. Okay. Every one of her attacks will attack the Flame Buffet. That means everything she does will slow people down. That's great. That's absolutely great.
Yeah, and increase their damage, from her at least, by a significant amount. So we've got them posturing over this seed. Now, it's important to note that this is it's not a seed that's going to provide any significant value. We're not going to see terrors coming out of this, but we do see an instant Dragon Queen into the Cleansing Flame, into the Mosh Pit.
Oh, Mosh Pit!
Do get an interrupt, but Zhao's going to go down. Confused is getting followed up on as well. The Sundering goes out, and Taco Cat all by himself here in his big healing well gets so much damage out. And with that hammer from across the wall, gets the Thrall and Gul'dan. And Jason pops that Ancestral to keep himself alive. Michael with 30 health. Wow. But Seraph probably not so lucky. Seraph doesn't have that mobility, but that 30 health Junkrat, holy cow.
It wasn't Junkrat, it was the one-armed man. The fugitive
for feeding. Exactly. So, you know, once again, like we literally just said this guy. Blues, guys, gotta get together. You got 2 people there. You don't have to kill them.
Oh man. You know what Michael Ian should be doing, or Mike, yeah, he should be looking to get 2 shots, take out that 300 health on that middle keep. You sneeze on it and it goes down, and that's catapult pressure.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful. He's trying to see where blue is located. He tried scouting out the siege giants. They weren't there. But obviously, they were at the bruiser camp right above. But it was also, that was just Samuro, so that could have been a really sticky situation for Samuro to be in too. And so now they're looking to defend this top lane. They want to clear this up. Once again, this seed is not going to net Garden Terrors, so they don't have to force the issue. And they have so much push to deal with right now.
I think that they go clear. They have to clear all these camps. I think they send one person, go clear that middle keep, and then escape. I think that's their best play.
Yeah, but who do you send? Junkrat is the only one that's got good flexibility, and I feel like he's really, you know, important to the defense of the team right now with his concussion mines. Captain Wedge throwing the shade. Junkrat not going for keep, no balls. Indeed. So now, no more camps to take. We do see the seed. It's on the red side of the map. So we'll see what happens here. Mongoose gets the big knockback onto Zhao, and that's just an instant free kill. Sundering going out doesn't really get a lot of value, as the Cleansing Flame does get a little bit of damage, keeps the team up. So it's a 5v4 now, but this seed coming up does provide Garden Terrors. This is a very challenging position to be in if you're Team Training Wheels.
Yep, down Orphea. They really need to get set up, and oh no! That's a hammer cutout! That's the linchpin of their strategy!
And that was the exact reason that Junkrat didn't go for that keep earlier, because if you're not aware, if you're not paying attention to the exact location of Mongoose, you find yourself dead very quickly with the power slide, with a face melt, and suddenly this very strong melee comp comes into play, and you don't have a whole lot of health on side of Team Training Wheels. You either blow them up or you get blown up.
Hey, Iris got a reward.
For sure. And Fox here is working on this camp, so that's going to provide even more pressure in the bot lane, which is already very low. The team is electing to go into the mid lane as Training Wheels is focusing top.
Okay, he did a nice little thing. He sent one of his clones up top while his main body was down there clearing out the thing, so he immediately teleported in after he finished it.
So we do see the Eternal Feast. I don't know why it's continuing to go. There wasn't anybody in there for a little bit.
No, Jason was in there.
Yeah, he eventually walked into it, but maybe he was just on the edge. Mongoose in trouble, though, thanks to Zhao popping that D. And we did get a Horrify out, but I don't see where it went.
ReGen Blue has to be careful. They're on the cusp of victory.
Jason might be able to get away? Maybe not.
Confused is going down. 20.
Oh, man. So the core at 63%. Seraph is going to get everything cleared up here. There's another wave of minions coming in.
Now, Michaelin can go and take that pot shot at that.
Yeah, he's by himself. Like, I would still rather see him with somebody, because Samuro's still up, and Samuro could manage to finish him off very quickly if he was by himself, but he's busy with a camp, so he's safe.
He has a concussion mine. He can get away.
So now both mid keeps are down for both teams. Oh, Samuro. Oh, you're in a tight spot, and all of your illusions are right here. So
he walks away in stealth. I think that's the right call.
Yep. Get
Good
out of
play by
dodge.
Fox this game on the Samuro usage, though. He needs to get out of dodge out of the top lane.
Yeah, so Seraph thought he had him there in the mid lane, but just clearing up clones, because again, with that Illusion Master, he can go anywhere that he wants to with those clones. And here we've got yet another seed. Not going to provide terrors, so nobody specifically has to go for this. Blue could even go for a core rush. Zhao is very low, tanking this keep, or I'm sorry, this bruiser camp too. So, and look at this, Fox is nearby. He's keeping track of what's going on up here.
Yeah, Fox could, be soloing all of these seeds himself if the team isn't engaged. He just needs one illusion to tank and him to grab the seed.
Yeah, and Training Wheels manages to get back in time to save the core, but they do lose the shield. They do lose 3%, now down to 60%. And here comes Blue. They've got some Siege Giants in this bot lane. Thrall managed to pick up the seed. Michaelin questioning his life's choices right now.
That led him to this game on this map.
So here
well,
we
it's
go.
because your team refuses to give up. That's why.
Exactly. Both teams pushing hard on this. So Blue getting, no significant push value out of that giant camp, but they showed face, pushed them back into their base, and Fox is going to go ahead and come up here and presumably take care of this. I guess not. He's not worried about that. They want to come up here and deal with the potential for this team coming in. Sniffed out by Seraph, though, throwing these napalm strikes out. Keep an eye out for this mosh pit, though. There's Dragon, there's Cleansing Flame.
Mosh pit is up. Horrify is up. Sundering is up.
Oh, look at what Fox is doing. Is he coming in? I can't tell if he's coming in behind them. Yeah, he is. Okay. So there's the Riptire. We didn't, and unfortunately I ended up missing Thrall because I was focusing on Fox. But Fox is trying to get onto Seraph and gets him to siege, and might be in trouble with Michaelin, and it will be 2-0. I thought that Fox was pushing that lane in, was going to actually go focus on core, and I think that would have been a really valuable thing to do because he had, both mid and bot potential catapults. But he came back instead because the team was getting pushed back.
Well, I think it's interesting that we're seeing a hyper-aggressive Alexstrasza Dragon. She's going in and she's becoming their tank in the later fights.
Oh, look at this. Seraph getting so deep. Gets slowed by Jays on the big corruption coming out from Grendel. And now your biggest Michaelin calling out the feeder. So it's still 3v4, so you still have the advantage on Training Wheels. And we do still have a mosh pit. They do not see that. Oh, how did you miss that? And the face melt knocks her back. The Eternal Feast.
No!
Trying to slow things down.
But he gets away because he's getting constant chaos.
Oh, it's so much. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
This is a bad spot. I think if they can keep everybody on their team alive, which it looks like they do, as long as they don't screw something up with catapults in the bot lane or something.
Had to capture. Fox needed to be at that seed and capping it already, and then he could have staved off the assault that's coming. But oh no!
Oh, Zhao though very low on health, so he's got to be careful about these giants. And there's the Hearth from Junkrat to make sure that he clears up any potential threat to them. But that's going to give Blue enough time that they'll be able to be up and alive for this defense. I think that's a misplay. I think that they could have potentially gone straight for the core. They have a very high DPS team.
No, I think that getting the objective is the right call here because it gives you extra pressure in the other two lanes. But you're also right in that Hammer can just melt. The
yeah.
The trick here is just getting Hammer to set up.
Yeah, and those lanes are pushed way, way back. So here comes the dragon. Again, very early in the fight, wants to provide as much value as she can here. And look at this core just go now 70%. They have everybody here. They've got to deal with that hammer, but they're getting obliterated underneath. And it is going to be game one going over to Team Training Wheels.
The comeback. I said that they were done, but they said, no, sir. No, thank you, sir. Whew.
Yeah, I think with these kind of slightly different, you know, from normal drafts, I think that both teams were just trying to find their moment of when they felt that they could actually win the game. So 19 to 24 kills, relatively close, but take a look at some of these stats. So 91k damage coming out of Junkrat, 222k siege damage. That's what'll happen when you have a level 26 game.
You could see why Michael Ian was complaining about feeders. He only died once the entire game.
Yep. And my guess is Seraph probably was of the opinion that I said, which was, let's go run it down mid and finish this game. And the rest of the team said, yeah, no, we're good. We'll stay back here.
Getting value out of that hammer strat. Do you think hammer gets banned next game?
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on where they're going to go. So this now will be up to ReGen Blue if they're going to do a first pick or map pick. I should probably go ahead and update that now that I think about it. So, I mean, hammer's the kind of thing that it works until you counter it, right? So, I don't know. I don't know that they necessarily are going to say, hey, let's, you know, ban hammer. What they might instead do is just elect to take a hero that will help them to counter it, like the Junkrat.
The problem there is that they might be committed to this horde strat, and if they're committed to the horde strat, then that limits their options. They might need a Cho'Gall.
Well, Cho'Gall's not horde.
He's as horde as Gul'dan is.
I would question that. Looks like we're going to Towers of Doom for our next map.
Ooh, my favorite Abathur map.
So let's see. So this was red that selected it.
And this is also a good hammer map because you take over a bottom lane and then you just sit there.
Could be. Absolutely. All right. You should be able to join off me now. So Towers of Doom, this is a little bit different of a map. It's a good comeback map. We've seen some pretty crazy games here. But it also, it can kind of lend itself to some cheese. I mean, you're not likely to see, for example, a Juice Pirates here, but you could see a very strong push comp focusing on the keeps as opposed to focusing on the altars. Both of those, you know, scenarios do win the game. One of them is just a little bit harder to maintain.
I'd love to see Juice Pirates on this map. I
don't think anybody would expect it.
The important thing is bottom lane. Like, that's what you really want to do, is you want to have a strategy that can win you bottom lane and will do good in team fights. You don't need to take out every tower. You just need to win the bottom lane, because that nets you an extra shot each time, sure, but you get 6 shots from the mercenaries. That's the big thing. You get 6 nearly guaranteed shots because the enemy team has to constantly fight on your own tower, in order to get it back.
For sure. And I want to take just a quick moment here to shout out a quick moment for a few followers here. So obviously, Munkus, thank you very much for your follow. Giggle Schmack, Wildcard, Catrian, and thank you very much to Rena for the Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate it very much. So some spicy chat coming out asking for Michael an interview. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the rest of the match. Are they? Let's make sure they're not switching people on me so that I can keep track of little player windows here. I don't know. Chat, do you guys see those player pop-up windows? Do y'all like that? Do you dislike it? Does it, what do you think about that? Because it takes time and energy for me to put that all in. So if I just shouldn't do it, then I just won't do it. But what do you guys think? Is that a neat little feature? Have you ever looked at that, Munkus? Have you seen any of that?
No, I've been watching. I've been looking at the chat the whole time. I don't know the video.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So it's kind of like the old HGC, like at the beginning of the maps, where it would pop up. Seraph is playing Sergeant Hammer, and this person's that, and that person's this. I think it's kind of neat, but it's a little bit challenging sometimes because teams will change heroes, right? They'll swap heroes, and then you end up, with an awkward moment where you have two people showing up as playing Anduin, like I had last night. Whoops.
Well, you won't have to worry about two people playing Anduin in this set.
Indeed, because he's been banned out. Nobody's playing Anduin tonight. So it looks like one team is ready to go. Checking in with Blue, seeing if they're all set up and ready to go as well here. I'm sure they'll be bringing some next level spice. Apparently they're waiting on us, so yeah, we're all good to go. If it means more, yeah. Thanks, Kat. Appreciate it. And it looks like we are going to go ahead and get started on Towers of Doom. So just a quick reminder of these bans here from last round. So Hanzo, Anduin, Dahaka, Ana, Diablo, and Lunara were all banned out in the last map. So they are not available for picks or bans in this map. And of course, the global bans also not available.
Global bans include Murky, Anubarak, Maya, Zeratul, Alarash, Garrosh,
Medivh, and Kel'Thuzad.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Orphea banned. She was pretty impactful. She with the feast. So we're seeing some especially target bans here because of the way the ban system works. Super laser precision target ban.
So it's pretty clear they don't want the teams to play the same characters they just played.
I think that's valid. Be like, hey, you know what? You did pretty good with these characters. In fact, I would take it as a mark of pride if they banned the character that I just played.
It's interesting. So there's one, way to think about this, which is that, we can look at it and say, yeah, they played all these heroes well. Or we can look at it and say, that was a 26-minute game. Which means that either everybody played well, or perhaps maybe it's okay for them to play other heroes. Just throwing that out there for our teams. And they are doing that. So we do see the ETC coming out from Mongoose again. Mongoose really enjoys that ETC, so I am not surprised at all to see the cow make his return. And then, a little bit of craziness on the other side.
And Seraph, their tank, has decided to actually play a tank as opposed to the tank.
And today we've actually got tanks playing tanks as well as other tanks on top of tanks.
Oh my goodness, a Lost Vikings!
What?
I love this. I love this. We have Arthas who can disable. He's like he has a Sylvanas type ult, which is instrumental in taking out that bottom lane. You have Lost Vikings, which ensures your team to be able to push out the bottom. And hey, Fox is good enough to play Samuro and keep track of all those clones. He can definitely keep track of the Lost Vikings and all their clones. The tank team has banned the tank.
That's interesting that they banned that, but I can kind of see that because you wouldn't want to have a hammer on this bottom lane push team to do kind of the similar to what you just did, right?
Right.
And then the Falstad to prevent that Viking hunter. So
and it's especially useful since a lot of the global heroes have been banned. Dahako is taken out, with Falstad out. Like, there's not, and with Abathur, there's not a lot of counters to Lost Vikings. Well, that's one way to do it. You have a top mid soak or a mid bot soak, top mid soak with the Zul. Oh god, they're going all in on this.
You know what? I don't know what commentary to provide because this is all just so crazy.
Okay, Zagara has an infinite stacking quest, as does Raynor. What I think that they should both do is take those infinite stacking damage quests, because all they're going to be doing is a team fight bot against the other team, and the higher their damage stacks, the crazier it'll get. So this will be Probius, Arthas, Tyrande, and Rhaegar in the bottom lane. I think against... No, Probius is going to have to be top mid, and Zul's going to have to be bottom.
You think?
I think.
Why do you think? I wouldn't think Zul's going to be in the bot lane. They have a full back line. They've got Raynor, Zagara. I think that
No,
Zul
you're
gets
right.
punished.
Yeah, no, you're right. Zul is going to be top mid, and so all their damage comes from Probius, which, if your Probius is good, he is one of the deadliest heroes in the game that can output damage like nobody's business.
Yeah, but he's going into, again, an all-range team, which his wow, I don't even know the name of his abilities because he's never played.
Well, he has the Riftgate thing, the portal that he opens, the little thing he shoots into the portal, and then he has his photon cannons and Protoss charge thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up his abilities page just so that I can actually.
His two heroics are the Overdrive and the Nullgate, and the Nullgate is the one that I always go with because it's so nice and how much it slows people.
Yep.
But
so for ReGen Blue here, we've got Fox on the Vikings, Mongoose on ETC, Grendel on Zagara, Jason on Brightwing, and Larson on Raynor.
And for Team Training Wheels, we have Confused on Rhaegar, Taco Cat on Tyrande, Michaelin on Probius, Zoo on Zul, Seraph on Arthas, Zoo. Let's see what they have picked.
So we do see most of the team here in the bot lane, of course, but Arthas going down there to, just keep track of him. Mongoose is very far forward, gets rooted by Zul. Follow-up from Tyrande, but not
well, we
yet
were both
enough
wrong.
damage.
It looks like Arthas is top mid, and Zul is in the bot push. I get, because that's what I was thinking, is that Zul is a lot of their damage, but are they actually just going the standard? They can't go with the standard rotation against Lost Vikings.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Mongoose is deep in. He's very close. He's got the armor penalty from Tyrande. But Zhao and Taco Cat also very low there from the damage from the rest of the team. And they're looking to just push in on this wall, which makes sense. That's the whole point of their comp. Get as much value out of this this bottom lane as possible. And force the Vikings to get the XP.
Raynor and Ace in the hole. I was hoping you'd go for the stacking quest and just infinitely stack his turn.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to provide his own slows for most of it.
Well, no, the stun from ETC, the sheep from Jason.
Does it work with all those?
Grendel can spec into slow on her main lane.
Yeah, I don't think the Brightwing polymorph works because it's a silence, not a stun. So,
it's
but
a
it does
stun,
work on
but it
stuns.
slows.
Oh, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah. So Zhao in the middle here, getting cleave damage going all over the place, gets knocked back into the team. Wow, he was at 9 health.
Yikes! Zhao is going back home for a minute.
Single digits.
Team Training Wheels has surprisingly kept pace with the XP. Well, that's because they've had Probius and Arthas at top and mid. They're getting pushed so far in they're going to have to adjust. They can't just have 3 people fighting 4.
Yeah, and it's gonna be tough. This triple altar phase is coming up, so now Blue's gonna come back. They're gonna start working on getting these altars. Of course, the Vikings can take that top one relatively easily for them. Mongoose is low on mana though. He's in kind of a tough spot to be rooted in the enemy team, but Zhao's taking all the damage.
Zhao is so low.
And Brightwing does connect on that one, and we have Eric up here in the top lane just poking out Arthas, keeping him from capping that point. And this is really solid because that means now they have to commit more resources to getting that top point. And here comes Blue saying, great, let's go in, we got this. This is our tower now.
They didn't need to send more than one more person up there. Oh, they lost bottom for that.
That was a very strong play from Blue, and you know, Fox in particular, making sure that that their team could get so much value from that.
Yeah. Oh, I really wish Zagara had taken the infinite stacking quest, but they might not fight this game long enough because they're taking the camps. They're capturing everything. With their 4-man death ball, they're just exerting their will.
But keep in mind, there's a lot of siege on the side of Team Training Wheels, right? They've got Zool, they've got Probius. They can clear waves very quickly, and they're going to get this tower back, so it's a little bit harder for ReGen Blue at this point to defend that tower. It's so early in the game, and it's only going to get more difficult as Zhao continues to get his cleave talents and be able to clear up these waves very quickly.
True, they don't have a ton of ways to shut down Zhao from using his cleave healing massive. I'm kind of surprised. How did the Vikings kill Arthas?
Well, they had Brightwing. Brightwing came in and helped them out, but wow, that's not what you expect to see from your Vikings against Arthas, and now they're in a position to push aggressively onto their opponent's altar here. So some significant zoning coming out from Mongoose. Once again, Zhao falling very low. And there's the first altar on Blue's side. Grendel very low though, so kind of in a tough spot. 4-man root coming out from Seraph from there, chunked down
big
very
damage.
low. And the root onto Mongoose followed up by the Warp Rift, I think, or something like that. Manages to get Mongoose taken out of the game.
One Viking. Now, okay, I was saying this before, but I don't know why they abandoned the bottom lane as soon as they got it. Usually you just park there after you cap it, and you send maybe one person to go do camps.
Yeah, and again, the only thing I could think of is because of the value of how much, you know, Zool brings to the table there, and their wave clear. So we do get level 10s coming online. We've got Mosh Pit for ETC. It's not play the game. It is play again for the Vikings. Blink Heal for Brightwing. Nidus Network for Zagara, not a big surprise, and then Hyperion for Raynor.
Yep, the Nidus Network is what's really going to make this whole comp come alive.
Big Mosh Pit hits everybody in the bot lane. They didn't have any like heroics to follow up, and it looked like Grendel maybe even didn't have any abilities left. So it was really just a hold in place while the tower got flipped.
Grendel should just drop a Nidus Network right there so that he can have access. There you go.
So this is looking a little dangerous now. 4v3, here comes the Cindergosa, sorry, 4v4. But now the tower's shut down. There's the Bloodlust. Good night, Raynor.
Wow. Oh, Bloodlust with Zool is pretty hefty.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely disgusting. Paired with his cleaves, he's going to be able to get self-healing on the cleaves. He's got the Bloodlust, because those cleaves, if I remember correctly, count as just regular auto attacks.
Yes.
So
there's all that ability does is make your auto attacks cleave, and all the talents that boost it will reduce its cooldown, give you healing to it, and the big one at 13 is increase your attack speed per target hit.
Oh, that was a great poly, except Fox stopped channeling. Lunar Flare comes out, and so, you know, we do have now 5v4 1/4. Yeah, Fox is here on the Olaf.
And a third.
Fair enough. And they're going to go ahead and back away here. Taco Cat's going to get that channel off. Oh, my.
I'm surprised Grendel hasn't gone to one of the other lanes to drop a little bit of creep there so that he can warp out and go to other lanes and push them and come back.
You know, I might be in the minority here, but I think that Grendel could have gone for the Maw. I think that would have provided them a ton of value, gives them a nice, easy mosh pit, you know, target. Allows them to counter the points, and you know, Grendel's not going all over the map here.
You can definitely, yeah. If Grendel isn't going all over the map, then he should have gone Maw in order to lock down Zul when he starts his cleave. Because when he starts the cleave brigade, you can use it to counter the bloodlust.
Right. So Zhao pretty low in the back, having to get some heals from the Tyrande. So now that's a good 12 seconds or so before Tyrande can heal again until she starts getting things auto-attacked, so she can reduce that cooldown. I don't know that Blue saw that, so they may not know the status of her heals. But look at how much damage Zul does to those waves. There's just nothing to be done about it.
But they don't need the waves at all because they have Zagara. She is a Sergeant Hammer that's on the move. She fires out those banelings, and they reach the fort.
Not 100% sure what Olaf was doing there, but Brightwing gets rooted, and the face melt coming in to keep Jason alive. And there's the ETC mosh. There's no Lunar Flare to stop it. Polymorph onto the Rhaegar, and Zhao very low, but again, there's just no completion to that mosh pit. And there's the phase shift trying to keep Mongoose in this fight, but Jason's going to go down for it.
Oh, I think ReGen Blue is feeling the effects here. Feeling the effects of the Zul threat.
Yeah, and that's just such it's so bad for them because these mosh pits, they've had really good mosh pits, but they haven't been able to finish anything. And look at this, Zagara right under the tower. Thankfully, she's able to have the counter kill against Arthas, but they don't care. They can cleave away, get some minions for the tower to shoot at. And
this is why I was saying that that Raynor and Zagara should have just gone their stacking quests, because they would. That's the only way they'll be able to keep up with the damage from Zul, is by getting those stacks to be super duper high.
Well, and we're now starting to see a little bit of value from this Vikings comp, aside from the potential for the XP, which they are slightly behind on. They're getting this top tower down to about half. Probius makes it up there in time to prevent it from going down, but if they can...
How far Probius got the mid keep down?
Exactly. And if the Vikings can keep pressure in these other lanes, eventually they can set it up, stagger these out to where they could have all three at once. Could. We'll see if that works out.
Right now,
the double
both
stun
bottom keeps are low. Oh my, that's a Probius down.
Probius is deleted from the game. Not even a hero anymore. So little health. But now we don't have a power slide, but we can be aggressive on this push in the top lane now. We do have Eric in the bot now by himself trying to stall things out, and he's going to stall it out, but instead they're going to come in here and get this tower down, it looks like.
Looks like they are, and Eric's going to try to be cheeky and sneak the no, he's not. He's going to be cheeky and sneak the leg.
So they do get the tower. Circles. He doesn't have the immunity, so we do lose Eric here. But we've got 3 members of Team Training Wheels having to back away because they don't have Probius, they don't have Arthas. They've got Azul, though, with his roots, with his attack speed haste. Potentially a
they have Bloodlust.
Yeah, so there's the Poison Nova getting things started.
They get the shots! That was a total of 9 shots, I think?
And Mongoose
10.
finally saying, let's see, so they got 4, 8, 11.
11, okay.
Mongoose finally getting a Mosh that actually secures a kill, realizing that Zool was the only real target, and if you just leave him up, he's going to heal himself right back to full.
Now it's the time for Zagar to take command and back cap and get those camps pushing in bot. Get those shots fired. The game is a lot closer than the score implies.
Yeah, they've got Blue has, not only do they have the points in their favor though, but ultimately they do have kind of a structural advantage. They're going to lose this bottom lane, but again, they have a lot of value in the mid lane and top lane that if they push up this mid lane can really spell a lot of problems for Team Training Wheels if they don't get an answer to this constant pressure.
Right, but mid lane for Team Training Wheels is their safe haven, right? Whereas top lane is the safe haven for ReGen Blue. The mid lane and top lane are equally pushed in, just on opposite sides.
So we do have a fight breaking out, 4v4, but there's no mosh pit this time, and the cleave's coming out from Zool, clearing up that lane, keeping him nice and healthy, and it looks like we may get a split.
20 seconds, and now the thing about the splits here, when you're behind like this, splits benefit the enemy team a lot more than they do.
Yeah, and that didn't help having Arthas by himself there, a little bit far to the north, getting caught out and power slide, face melt.
If you think of it, if you think of the shots as percentage damage, that was like a 12th done from Blue, whereas Team Training Wheels maybe took out and that fort. They keep losing that fort, but the thing is, they need Arthas to take it back because with Syndragosa, they just immediately clear it. But Arthas is dead for another 20 seconds. That leaves plenty of time to push in mid and top.
Yeah, and this is exactly what they're doing. As a team, they're coming in here for the mid because that's the one that still has its wall, still has the main structure, and then they can very easily rotate top. And by the time they get done with that, the bot lane sappers will be available. That's another potentially 6 shots, and they get that just in time. Training Wheels gets that just in time to prevent the additional shots coming out for being 6 capped. And I like this. Yeah. Now you've got Zagara, who's got the global pressure, and the Vikings getting top. As there's, I think the Mosh did not go out. Never mind. They just got obliterated. I did like the idea, but that Bloodlust just destroyed them. And now this is this is Training Wheels. They get to get these bottom camps.
They don't want to cap it. They don't cap it. No, don't do this.
Yeah, the real question is, could they get a tower down in time? And you can see
they can get a tower down mid, and they can get a tower down bot very easily. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that mid tower for sure. They should have been able to take that out. They had everybody there, but they wanted to get these camps. They wanted to get pressure in the bot lane. Zul's gonna go work on his mid camp mid keep rather, but now he's got to stop what's going on in top lane because that's 3 points going against them, and he makes it just barely in time, and they are right on that goal line too. A split second later and he loses those points, so good on Zhao to be aware of what's going on there, and they do actually take that aggressive keep now.
Right, I just think that they could have taking those bottom two before they took the tower. Like even these four, like that's 3 extra shots.
Yep, and when you're behind like this, every single point is vital to your existence in this game. And we see Zhao just up in the top lane here, waiting for his minions so that he can clear out this lane, try to get some more damage onto this top keep.
Every point matters on Towers of Doom. You can win by a point and you can lose by it. We'll see what happens though.
Oh, there goes Cinder Ghost in the bot lane, and the root comes out onto Jason and Larson.
Oh, the mosh!
Torbus. Oh my goodness. Finishes off the Arthas. Confused, was stunned there for a while, managed to get out though.
Zol's not there with them. He's clearing out top. Oh, they need Zol with the team.
And so he's going to probably get this back before they're able to take certainly both of them. But now it's 3 versus, again, 4 and some in this aggressive posturing. Eric's going to get on that channeling right away as Mongoose is zoning them out.
They get off too.
Oh, and the Vikings are already on that other one. Rhaegar, confused, getting caught out by Mongoose, the power slide, but manages to run away. Gets the altar.
No!
Oh my goodness.
It's down to 1. So, okay, here's the situation that you're in if you are team training wheels. You have to defend against whatever towers come up next, as well as the boss.
Oh,
so they're just going to go ahead and do the boss. And I think that's a smart play, but if your team ReGen Blue, maybe sniff that out.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: they take all of these camps, and then also take the bottom keep.
That is a questionable call, my friend.
That's probably game without Arthas. Without Arthas to defend, if they kill this keep before all of those guys get in, yeah, they have 3 shots.
So now, if you're team training wheels, you don't have your whole team here. Here comes the Hyperion. Zul now going down. The Lunar Flare gets the stun,
but
they make it through. So that's going to be game number 2 going over to ReGen Blue.
What an amazing game. And let's... Oh... I think only 2 shots went in, so they lost. They had 1 point of overkill, I believe. That game could have gone a little differently if they had just 2 more shots left on their core.
Yep, but in this case, they did not, and so that game going over to ReGen Blue. So we've got 1 apiece in this best of 3.
That's exactly what I like to see. Now it all comes down to this.
Let me make sure that we've got. Yeah, I gotta highlight or add the bands from that round here onto our thing. So, Munkus, do you have the stats up still there?
I do.
Tell us a little bit about what you see there.
Raynor with 76,000 damage is at the top of the stats for damage. Not surprising there. Raider's the only true carry on either teams. Zol doing basically double of anyone else on his team with 66,000 damage. And pretty much all of Zol's damage in team fights was incredibly bursty, coming out of those bloodlusts with the sweeping strikes coming in super fast. So that is very impressive for a bursty hero to get that high. Zagara not that far behind him for ReGen Blue with 69 damage. Now, the crazy stats are in the siege numbers, with the Vikings with 200,000, Zol not behind with 180,000, and Probius not behind him with Zol had 182,000, Probius with 180, neck and neck there. We have 5 players in the triple digits. With Raynor with 106 and Zagara with 135.
That's not too unexpected given the play style that they were going there. And you know what, they kind of did go for what I had described in the beginning about Towers of Doom, which was a push as much as you can, get the focus on getting the towers down strategy. And Training Wheels tried to respond to that. They had the Proteus, they had the Zool to provide that counter pressure in those lanes. But ultimately the team fight just wasn't quite there to be able to deal with that Zagara, to deal with that Rainer. Even though the mosh pits, until that one to secure the kill on Zool, the mosh pits provided no kill secures. They still won most of those fights anyway, because of course locking those heroes out means that they can't counter pressure you.
Right. I think this came down to pressing R and winning for both teams. You had Mongoose with his very strong ETC coming in and landing clutch mosh pits, whereas for Team Training Wheels, Bloodlust was their go-to. If Bloodlust along with Cinder Ghost to win back their towers. The Bloodlust combined with the Zol attack speed is just, that's what, 40% from Bloodlust and 75% from Rapid Harvest. So that's 115%, if my math's correct?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how they do the percentages on this, if it's additive or what have you. So, in any event, it's a lot of damage, and we did see there was one point there where they popped Bloodlust and ReGen Blue just disappeared from the map. You only had the Vikings left. So they did have the potential to do that when everything kind of lined up. They got those roots, they got the combination of the Bloodlust, but it took them a while to kind of get that, and they really only had that, if I remember correctly, they only had that one full, I'm calling it a full team wipe because the Vikings don't matter as compared to the rest. So let's go ahead and take a quick break here just so that we can check in with our teams and see where we're going next.
All right, sounds good to me.
King has fallen. A father. A friend. A warrior. Defender of the Alliance. He was a beacon of hope. A leader without measure. A man who would never accept defeat. He was our shield against the storm. Wherever he has gone, Varian Rin will remain a hero. Always.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So our game number 3 is going to be Dragonshire, and it looks like it was selected by ReGen Blue.
My favorite map.
Back in my day. People are talking in chat about my my Blizzard commercials that I had going there. So quick reminder of the bands here as we go into the draft. So last game we had Orphea, Alexstrasza, Falstad, Samuro, Abathur, and Sergeant Hammer to add on to the list. So after 2 games now, we have a total of 20 heroes banned. That's almost a quarter of the heroes available. And a lot of them are tanks.
A lot of them are tanks. And Vikings getting banned, I don't disagree there at all.
I would not be surprised to see an ETC ban out of it next.
Oh, absolutely. Mongoose has been a real terror on that ETC all night.
So Azmodan, not a hero we've seen represented yet, but again, as we get deeper into these bans, we're going to see some different things. What do you think? Do you think we'll see a Nova?
I don't know. I'd like to see Nova Valera duke it out in the stealth game for this lower tier stealth character.
Well, and keep in mind that I mean, Valera has a very solid place in kind of an anti-dive, so you know, she could still make it in. Nova's really just a meme pick, right?
I don't know. Sometimes a really good Nova with the skill shots can. Now there's your meme pick, Tassadar.
Huh.
I'll say this for Team Training Wheels, they kept it interesting. They have been representing a lot of the lesser used heroes. You had Tassadar, you had Probius.
There's a variant, so Mongoose is flexing off the ETC. I'm calling it now. We're gonna see a Butcher.
From Training Wheels?
Yep.
Maybe. I would love to see Butcher because there aren't that many counters to him. Oh yeah, it could definitely be a Butcher. Or a Vala.
I think
As if they read my mind.
I was gonna say, I think it's less likely. I think it's less likely to be a Butcher now.
I think it's more likely to be a Butcher.
You think? Oh,
Arcanus is their off lane. So we still don't have the tank or their carry.
Yeah, and they did take away Artanis, which means that the enemy team doesn't have that potential blind, so...
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sticking by it. I called it. I think it's likely. I want to see it. I almost would have liked to see Blue take it there, but instead they take the Thrall and a Zebo. So a Rune into a zombie.
Rainer could also do. Well, Thralls are off lane.
Maybe. You don't know.
Thrall
could be in the 4-man.
Interesting. Now, Artanis could be... Now, see this... I mean, Artanis could be in the 4-man with Tassadar. Very confused by... Because I usually see Tassadar with a carry. that's all about auto attack damage.
Okay. All right. So,
Very non-conventional.
I don't know.
You got, alright, so I'm thinking for the 4-man, you might be having Thrall go Crash Lightning and Tyrael in the top on... oh no! Larson switched to be on the Varian and Mongoose is on the Tyrael now, so Tyrael is going to be their tank.
I'm glad you mentioned that so I can fix these.
And Larson is either going to be Windblade in the off lane or maybe Windblade or Smash in the 4-man. I would not be surprised to see Thrall in the 4-man. Oh, I know why they really picked Variant. It's for Shattering Throw at 13. He's just going to delete the Tassadar shield.
And you know what? And they've got Artanis, and they've got Kerrigan. They really played into that that shielding. So, you know, Varian definitely does help with that.
After Varian.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get the introductions out here. So for ReGen Blue, we've got Jason going to be playing the Brightwing, Larson on the Varian, Fox on Thrall, Grendel now playing the Nazebo, playing those dot characters tonight, Mongoose on the Tyrael.
And for Team Training Wheels, we have Confused on Tassadar, Zhu on Artanis, Michaelin on Kerrigan, Taco Cat on Stukov, and Seraph on Taco Cat handing out those free tacos.
And I do want to point out here, so Michaelin playing the Kerrigan is on that that NGS officially banned skin, but there's no bans here. It's the swap onto Grendel, the charge from Blaze. And the first
if only they had a butcher.
34 seconds in, Nazebo's the first kill.
Looks like Thrall is in the off lane. He went Echo the Elements. Spider build from Nazebo, not the build the offense.
Yeah, so they're really trying to commit hard onto that single target. They're going to see that Varian C-Smash probably. And then, you know, the extra damage coming out of those spiders is really going to make a bad day for somebody. And keep in mind, too...
Varian could also be going Todd, because he went Overpower at one.
Indeed, he could. And, I mean, Overpower is kind of a... That's kind of a free automatic, like, reset on your Heroic Strike, so... given the fast attack speed coming out of Tassadar and really even Artanis, I think that makes sense. Either way, I think that gives him a big burst of damage, but we could still see the taunt. I think that would lessen their damage potential. They're a little bit kind of low. I mean, I guess there's some value out of the Tyrael too, so...
Well, right now, I think that ReGen Blue, their game plan is get to 20, make the Nazebo come on. Whereas for Team Training Wheels, they really wanted to win early. Though they do have Artanis, he has gone the stacking quest with Season Marksman, so he will get stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, and keep in mind too that the spider build here for Nazebo, you've got Tassadar who wants to stand still a lot. You've got Stukov who's going to stand still and put down his silences from time to time. So, I mean, they've got the potential for spiders to do a lot of damage. Blaze stun though.
Oh no, silence!
Yeah, deep in on the Jason and Mongoose there.
Jason! Oh, I thought he was going to get away. I'd love to know exactly how much I'd overkilled by, because it doesn't seem like it'd be much.
Well, we do have Thrall and Artanis in the top lane here, pretty evenly matched. But Thrall did manage to take that control point back. But now it's not so evenly matched. The pull back in, and this could spell the end for Thrall, but he's going to go ahead and...
It is taunt!
Well, fair enough.
Wait, oh, between taunt, Artanis... Taunt, Tyrael, Thrall,
Nazebo.
and Big Voodoo Nazebo. That's a very tanky team, unless they get picked off. The silence with the Yeah, Psystorm on top. That is a lot of area damage.
So now we've got up to level 7s here for Team Training Wheels. I don't really know anything about Kerrigan's build, so I have no idea if that's valuable or not. But look at this. She's paying attention to Larson, who's getting some value on this wall. Getting a little bit of damage on that tower.
If there's one hero I have no idea about, it's Kerrigan. I do know that the kinetic fulmination level 4, that is what people normally do.
Mm-hmm. So in the bot lane here, we've got Nazebo getting stunned and helping Brightwing to get stunned by the jet propulsion. Not a lot of mana on Seraph there, so the spiders do get completed with that toss onto Seraph. And so now we've got a 3v3 in the bot lane as Mongoose joining the fight as well. And Larson coming up gets the taunt onto the Stukov,
wow.
The polymorph. But Stukov,
I think that's the synergy with the spiders. The taunt singles them out really nicely and keeps them in play.
And here we've got Kerrigan getting the combo in on the Brightwing. And it's a 4v3 in the other direction. Taunt going out onto Kerrigan, keeping Michael in from getting the kill onto Jason. And Seraph maintains the cap on this point. Has to hearth away though. Very low on health and mana.
Now, who wins in a man fight between Thrall and Artanis?
I think that Artanis wins an even fight, but it's not an even fight now as the combo from Kerrigan pulls in Thrall, and once again, Thrall is heading back.
Good rotation by Team Trading Wheel. And they're doing what they said they had to do. They're winning that early game, and they're winning it hard, because as this game goes later on, ReGen Blue will get more and more tools to deal with them.
So we do get the first Dragon Knight going over to Team Training Wheels. And they're going to start off by clearing off the mid lane here, getting the wall down. Unfortunately, the Dragon Knight cannot walk through walls.
I think this is the right play. Normally you go for the bottom lane, but they've already made so much progress bottom lane. Getting that extra pressure on mid is probably the right idea. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if he took out the tower, if he took out the fort and went top to take out the well.
Well, they don't really need to because we've got Kerrigan and Artanis with their level 10s up here pushing Fox way back.
And they take out the well.
Yeah, they're probably going to get that tower, honestly. And with that, the Dragon Knight's very low at this point, so they don't have a lot of time left. Mongoose is very deep in this on this 4v3, but they also don't have heroics. The taunt onto that Stukov, and there they are. They're the heroics to keep
a little bit of anti-synergy there. Combustion activated. Yeah, with the swipe.
But now the heroics are down, and so they're trying to get this engaged. Seraph is very low as the Sundering comes in. 150 health. They got him so close, and Mongoose with the Sanctification and throws himself over the wall, secures the kill, but will go down in payment.
Oh no, Jason blinked over onto Mongoose.
Not what you want to see when your enemy team fort is still up and you've got shields and shields and shields all on that enemy team.
Now, Grendel's running into a bit of a problem here because it's level 10 and he only has 69 stacks. He wants to be a lot higher than that. You're about halfway through the game. You want to be at 100 stacks right now.
Oh no, and look at this. We've got Larson in danger thanks to that Kerrigan combo. But even with the 3 members there, it's just Kerrigan's damage. I mean, Tassadar will do some damage. And of course, Stukov's, Zerg arm just does so much.
Oh, nice zombie wall.
Oh, but Seraph charging into the backline gets the combustion out, and it looks like it might be a dead Nazebo as he gets taunted out of it.
No, yes!
And the laser manages to finish that job. Polymorph onto Kerrigan, it looks like she's going to go down as well as she's surrounded by blue.
Oh, that's a 2-for-1 trade. I don't know if that was worth it.
Oh, the Sundering followed up by the taunt from Varian onto Artanis, and now a 3-for-1. And
they're really going
into the dragons.
They were really going all in on denying the Zevo stack opportunity.
And Mongoose is here to provide vision for his team. He gets slowed and rooted, or sorry, rooted and silenced rather. And this might be a little bit questionable. I think that they could have just gone for the dragon and gotten a lot more value than, you know, what this camp is going to provide. Because now Mongoose is very low. Fox has almost no mana. Larson has almost no mana, and they don't even have the bottom control point.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Grendel didn't go right to the point after he had touched the bottom minions, because that would have been really...
So we do have a fight breaking out in the middle as Jason gets caught by Michael in there with his big combo. Fox is getting just destroyed here by the Tassadar.
Oh!
And an early sanctification that doesn't help with the combustion. But look at how much damage has been done to blue. They are so low in health, and Jason is so far away he can't get into the team because he still has that laser going. He does blink in, but the Psy Storm nearly kills him. He only had 20 health left.
Goodness gracious. Down goes Nazeebo again. They are really bullying that poor Nazeebo.
And now, because they went and got that Siege Giant camp instead of getting the dragon, this dragon's going to go over to Team Training Wheels. They're looking really strong on this. Their combos have been on point. Their timing of, you know, being able to get to the dragon, they've been patient about it. Their ultimates have worked out, you know, well for them. They're definitely in the lead, not just in kills and XP, but like in just overall synergy at this point, I think.
Yes, their team definitely had, and their team works a lot better in the early game, but now Varian has Shattering. And if they can just get Nazeebo to 175 stacks, Team ReGen Blue will be in a fine position. They're not going to win the early game. They just have to be focused on winning the game post 20. And I guess worried about getting to 20 at this point, the way the game...
Yeah, 20 is a long way away for them at this point. The Dragon Knight's at half health, but there is a Siege Giant camp as well, doing significant damage to that keep. It's already just about at half health here. And, you know, I think that's enough value out of this Dragon Knight. They're going to get a little bit more in the mid lane, but there's only 2 seconds here. Yeah, never mind. They're not even going to make it there. You know, that's pretty good value out of a Dragon Knight that, quite frankly, shouldn't have been theirs.
Yeah, that could have fairly easily have been ReGen Blue's Dragon Knight.
So we do have a potential camp invade here. Zhao getting the swap onto Jason. The Sunder misses everybody, and the zombie wall traps Mongoose inside the Holy Ground.
Oh no!
And Brightwing's gonna pay for it. Larson and Mongoose now in that big full cast combustion. Missing Grendel on that jet
by the chain lightning.
Oh, geez. And Grendel goes down. Mongoose goes down. It's now 4-0. What a solid camp invade. They didn't even wait for the blaze. They said, you know what, we got the 16 advantage. We know they're here. Let's get whoever we can. And it was a solid play. And it was exactly what I just said. They had great synergy. They played it. They brought it, the enemies into their fight and then blew them up with a combustion.
Yep.
And Zhao is up here with catapults and a bruiser camp in the top lane, getting value out of that stolen camp. And this is the death bridge, so I mean, we'll see how long he chooses to stay there. But oh, geez. Bottom lane though, 4v3, and they're looking to fight under this tower. They've got the minion wave to go for it.
This is some incredibly gutsy plays.
But TacoCot just says, you know what? We're done. We're good. We're cool.
Yeah, it says, get away from my tacos. These are my tacos.
Oh, the combo into the laser.
There must always be a dragon.
And Thrall gets eliminated. And here goes Mongoose as well. Now tries to get away, but he still had that dot damage. Michael diving in on the Brightwing. And Jason as well going to the graveyard. Larson just not able to get the taunt and the parry to get any significant value. I think this is game for Team Training Wheels.
I think you're right. This is game.
And they're going to go ahead and move on to the core. Check this out. Zhao doesn't care. He's hanging out up in the top lane on the death bridge. His team's been taking care of business for him. This is going to be game number 2 for Team Training Wheels.
Stats get more siege damage.
Yeah, exactly. He's just stacking himself up.
They did not, and ReGen Blue did not get to 20.
And the last minute taunt coming out from, who is that on Stuka? I don't remember.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Let's see. Stukov was Taco Cat. I knew that.
Top damage dealers were pretty close at 47,000, 51,000, but oh man, just a decent chunk of damage coming out from all the other players, whereas you see a pretty big drop off from 47,000 to 35, and then down to the 20s. This is spreading that love out, getting damage done by everybody. Even the healer, Taco Cat, Stukov, did 30,000 damage. That's almost as much as the second best damage on ReGen Blue. They just managed to have everybody contribute to this victory here.
Yeah, they did a really good job from, you know, the whole combination of everything there, and, you know, really good job on them to make that. So it sounds like it sounds as though Team Training Wheels unfortunately does not have a lot of time, so they're not going to be able to do the interview, which is fine. You know, that's cool. It just gives us a chance to chat with them. I know chat wanted to hear from Michael, and you're going to have to reach out to him and ask him for his thoughts on that game and, you know, what they did with that hammer in game 1 and all that stuff. But, you know, congratulations to both teams. You know, ReGen Blue had a good game 2. Team Training Wheels had a very solid game 3. And then both teams had quite an entertaining and interesting game 1. So, you know, this was a really fun opener to the WAMPF tournament, the Wono and Mongoose Pleb Fiesta. And we got a little bit of just about everything that we could, you know, really hope for coming out of this.
This was a great series. The first 2 games in the series were wild back and forth, especially that first game. And then that third game was just, it was interesting.
Yeah, so what do you think? So now that we've seen the match, we've seen how the bands play out, like, you know, again, a grand total of what? We had 26 bands. So what are your thoughts on this setup? How do you think this is going to affect the rest of their kind of mini season here?
I think that you should practice in meme comp and get ready for meme comps. Learn what meme comp your opponent is going to play, and have strategies, because that seems to be one common thing. Like the Lost Vikings came out in game 2 on a very good Lost Vikings map. Hammer came out in game 1 and was instrumental in that victory there. And like the entire team was built around Hammer in game 1, and in game 2 the entire team was built around the Lost Vikings. In game 3, everything kind of went out the window, and it seemed like it was throwing everything into the cooking pot and just seeing what comes out.
Yeah, it was a very interesting setup. I do want to shout out Slexia. Thanks for joining us tonight, and I appreciate those 69 biddies. Much appreciated. Glad that you stopped by and hopefully enjoyed the stream tonight between Team Training Wheels and ReGen Blue. I know it's been a lot of fun for me, and I'm looking forward to casting some more of these matches in this series here. Just overall.
Oh yeah, this was a lot of fun. A great break from, you know, doing the serious matches to have just some fun, anything goes kind of.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. So just as a quick update, you can see in the ticker below here some of the upcoming matches. Some of these are for WAMPF over the next couple of days. I believe tomorrow is going to be Ziltoid casting Calculated Throw and Duratan's Couch. There are also a game or two. I think I'm casting Bancho versus Winky Face. You may be familiar with those names from Division C NGS in the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. That'll be on Thursday evening, and then there's another game on the 2nd, I think. So there's there's definitely some competitive hots to keep you entertained over the next few days. If you missed the Nexus Edge Live, make sure you go back and watch that VOD. I didn't get to see it, but I'm looking forward to going and seeing how that turned out. I'm Arrow. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Arrow of the Storm. You know that because you're here. You can also find me on Twitter occasionally at Warrior Arrow. Monkus, tell the ladies and gentlemen at home where they can find you and the wonderful things you have to say.
You can find me at twitch.tv/BuckisBeaver. And I am currently making my starting to put together my team for the next season of NGS. That's my current.
Excellent. And do you have a division that you're looking to target?
Targeting Division B right now. That is,
gotcha.
Because I think I got my team this last season was in Division B, and I think I was like in the fall I played in Division C or B, I think. So I think Division B is a solid.
Sure. Well, and both of these teams that we just saw tonight were Division B teams. I believe that Training Wheels was East in that, and ReGen Blue, of course, was West. So, you got to see a little bit of some examples of some of the play from two Division B representatives. So keep that in mind, folks. If you are out there looking for a team and you're, consider yourself qualified in that Division B level of play, reach out to Monkus, as he's got some open spaces on his team at this point. Also, keep in mind, too, we do have the All-Stars matches for NGS here coming up next week, and the NGS Free Agent Combine, a place that you'll be able to showcase, work with other teams, check out with captains. It'll be cast, a live event, so that you can see, how everybody's playing and do a quick scouting report on who might be able to fit into your team, or perhaps the other way around, look for a team to go to. Anything else for the masses, Monkus?
I'm looking forward to that combine. No, I think that's good for me. Looking out for takes and for off leaders, right? Everyone have a good night, and thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Monkus, have a wonderful night. Twitch chat, you guys have been great. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.